Microsoft produces a number of versions of their popular Visual Studio product. I break their offerings into 3 categories: the pay-for-license versions targeted at developers, the free editions targeted at developers, and the pay-for-license versions targeted at other disciplines. Visual Studio is first and foremost a developer tool. If you want the paid version, you have 3 editions to choose from. The Professional Edition is the entry-level offering. Every feature in this version is also available in the higher-priced editions. The Premium Edition adds some features to the IDE. It is at this level that you start getting licenses to other Microsoft products through the attached MSDN subscription. Finally comes the Ultimate Edition. It's packed with every possible feature, a huge list of additional software licenses, and a price tag to match. You'll spend some serious cash for this edition, which costs up to $12,000 per seat. I've created a list of features that are available in all paid editions. The IDE, which generally means the overall work environment, has a ton of new features. I love the multiple monitor support, but you can see there are many deluxe items on this list, like refactoring and support for JavaScript. The debugger is first-rate. There's also special tools for profiling your code and analyzing code metrics. If you write Windows 8 store apps, you can test them on the built-in simulator. This is handy. You don't have to buy a tablet just to test your application. You can check out my Building Windows Store Application course here on lynda.com to see it in action. There is also a phone emulator included in the toolset. It simulates the Windows RT runtime environment with the matching small screens. Plus, it includes tools for simulating multiple touchpoints, tilt, and phone location. On the right side of the table, you can see a list of all the project types supported in the paid editions. You can create apps for the web, the desktop, for Microsoft Office and SharePoint, and even the cloud. If you move up to the Premium Edition, you get a set of tools for managing the testing virtual machines and a number of new testing tools. At the Ultimate level, you get a set of architectural tools. Also, my favorite debugging tool is included in this edition. The IntelliTrace feature is awesome. There is no better word to describe this tool. It lets you record each step of a debugging session and store the trace data in a file. Later, a developer can reopen the trace file and play back the debugging session that was recorded on the other machine. The trace file includes everything, including thread state, machine state, and variable content of the recorded session. I don't show IntelliTrace in this course because it is in the Ultimate Edition. If you want to see it in action, you can watch it in my Visual Studio 2010 course. Team Foundation Server is a project and team management tool. TFS, as it is known, contains the bug tracking tools and source control server. TFS is not included with your regular Visual Studio IDE purchase. You need to buy a copy for your software team. There is also a dedicated test version of Visual Studio. It is optimized for team members that test code instead of writing code. MSDN is an abbreviation for the Microsoft Developer Network. MSDN is also a subscription service that grants you access to additional software and resources. If you buy a pay-for-license edition, then an MSDN subscription is part of the package. If you want, you can also buy the subscription without getting Visual Studio. I have the Ultimate Edition installed on my developer computer. The attached MSDN subscription gives me access to every known Microsoft operating system. I also get licenses for SQL Server and other databases like Microsoft Access. Office licenses are part of the bargain. I recently had to get a copy of Excel 2000 for testing purposes. I found what I needed on the MSDN website. There are licenses for every other server technology available, like Exchange Server. And you also get the business and accounting tools that are part of the Dynamics family. I need to say this. You get testing licenses for all these tools, not deployment licenses. That means when you deploy a SQL Server database to a production server, you will need to pony up the cash for a real license. Speaking of cash, what about the free versions I mentioned earlier? Yes, there are free versions. They match most of the features found in the entry-level Professional Edition. They support multiple programming languages, and each free edition is designed for one category of project type. For example, web developer or desktop developer. Here is a list of the free editions. I'll bet you see one on this list that appeals to you. You can install Express and pay for license versions on the same computer without a problem. Note, not all the examples included in this course will work on the free editions. To start your journey with Visual Studio, Go to the Microsoft download sites listed here. The first link takes you to the main Visual Studio page. There you can find the links to download a trial version. The second link takes you to a product comparison page. Imagine the happiness you will find reading about the product differences.